know this world has gone insane. It is absolutely no secret. But tonight, Saturday night, you are about to experience the true measures of what that insanity can bring you. Tonight, you are about to see Bald and Bonkers, the one-of-a-kind show that delves deep into the world with no holds barred. Now, meet your hosts, Dakota Frandsen, specialist of the strange, and Christopher Moule, the UFO fanatic. Now, give it up, and let's see what these two idiots can bring you.
Welcome, everybody, to Saturday Night Show. Yeah! Welcome, Spooky. You got in just in time
just
for the start of the show.
You're like some women we know.
We're joined tonight by Chad and Spooky.
Hey, how's it going? I love that.
Pleasure to meet y'all.
Love that intro you got there.
Oh,
thank you.
That's jamming.
I don't do it, by the way. I'm just a Scottish guy that talks bloody rubbish.
He wants me to do all this freaking work. We're trying to put a movie together, and he just sits on his end.
Yes, we are. We're doing a documentary, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you doing a documentary?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very
going
nice.
To UFOs, you know. We're going to take Dakota there out to Area 51 and send them in, see what happens to him.
Yep. I'll
Why am I
out
the
there
one
with
that
them
has to
too.
take the sniper fire?
I'll go in if you want, but you'll have to get ready to bail me out of jail. You know, I'll drive in.
Yeah, oh my god!
You know,
It's
hey
gonna be
everybody in the
one
chat,
tonight.
nice to see you. We've actually got quite a lot of news on the show tonight. We've got a trailer we've got to play because the Smith Family Paranormal here in the chat. Let me bring them up here. They're starting a new show on our channel on the network, on the Bald and Bonkers network.
Oh, cool.
And it's called The Inner Quartz. Is that coming up there? I'll try to bring that up. Dakota, are you bringing that up at the same time as me?
No.
See,
me and Sonny do that too.
So
the one person that actually knows how to run everything. God.
Running it off your phone.
Smith,
yeah,
Smith
I get stuck in the internet here.
He's got a satellite dish for his internet. I feel bad.
Okay.
That's all we can get.
I've got
satellite dish.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's got fiber optic, huh?
Yes, 120 megs per second.
Ooh.
I like to show off. You know,
that's
anyway,
nice
guys,
to show our hot fiber.
I know. I've fiber internet is amazing. I will say this. I'm just making
plenty of fiber for you to get that crap out of your system.
I know. But anyway, guys, the Smith Paranormal is going to be joining their network on a Thursday night. I don't know if it's this Thursday coming or next Thursday when they're available. Where they're doing The Inner Quartz, the new show. Do you want to play the trailer? Dakota, do you want me to play the trailer?
Let's do it.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
So it's nice, isn't it? It's Dakota here. He's amazing. I will say this: Dakota is one of the best co-hosts MD could ever wish for, because he has worked in the movie industry, haven't you, Dakota? You do all these kind of that's.
You kind of blowing my contributions out of proportion there, but yeah, I am in the movie industry, so I actually have standards.
Oh, it looks very good. You can tell. It looks good.
Hey, we've got quite a lot of people in the chat tonight, actually. Oracles and beyond. Good to see you, Oracles.
Hey, Cassie. Good to see you.
Paranormal World. Who's all in here? My goodness
Sherry
me, there's
from
lots of people in
PWI.
Oops.
There's my brother in here. I mean,
who let your brother in?
I know. My brother gets let out the zoo once a week. You know, well, just ignore him.
But making go, screw you.
But anyway, guys, I'd like to welcome you to the live tonight, Chad and Spooky. You know,
Thank you.
so we'll just talk about some UFO stuff. So, Chad, you into UFOs, my friend?
Man, I have not seen a UFO to this day.
You know,
I go out and I ask the sky all the time. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to play some games. Let's go.
Let's
and
tell me.
So far,
have you got the CE5 app?
No, but that's funny you say that. I was looking at that this morning. I just wanted to see what was going on with that.
It works.
It works?
I have footage using it on my own YouTube channel, Specialist of the Strange. Yeah. Ever since we got recommended to start using that app, they come practically on command. I even have spirit box recordings where something on the other side is asking for those tones to be played.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's the tones. So that's how that works. It's tones that are in the app that supposedly help out.
Well, the way it works is that those tones were actually captured from like crop circles where a lot of activity was taking place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a friend of ours from a company that we're no longer with, she sent us a video where the craft itself was giving off very similar tones.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, in the app itself, there's like a library, and it gives you lots of tones you can play. And some of them, there's Mount Shasta. That's actually a very interesting place, and that's a location that we're really interested in, actually, because of the UFO sightings in that area. But the tones, honestly, Chad, see tonight or tomorrow, go out and play those tones. I can just about guarantee it. Something will happen.
Really?
Something will happen, yes.
Huh. Yeah, I saw that it was $10. I'm like, I'll have to get some more reviews on this and see if it's worth the $10. But then you just sold it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We tried it out ourselves. It works.
Huh. That's interesting. I'll have to try that out and get back to you.
Think about it this way, Chad. $10 in Scotland wouldn't even buy you a gallon of gasoline.
I know, we were talking about that. I can't believe it. Spooky, they're paying like $17 a gallon for gas out there.
I remember.
Yeah.
I used to go. I was in Germany and throughout Europe, and they would sell the gas in liters, and it was pretty much double the price we would pay over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when I was in Scotland a few years back, and I was just like, thank God we have a tour bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Every time I go to the gas station, every Monday I go and fill my car up every Monday, and you feel it breaking down afterwards. To fill my car is £120 to fill my car.
Oh, sweet!
Oh my God, man, that's.
I thought it was bad just for $40 for my car. My God.
Right.
I know people that are £165 to fill their diesel car.
Oh,
every week.
Jeez.
I think it might be time we get away from fossil fuels and oil and all that.
Yeah. Yep. It's been time, I think.
Yeah. It'll be long overdue.
But that's the thing. They're forcing everybody into these electric cars, and these electric cars are, well, rubbish.
Well, the thing about electric cars is they also have parts that are going to be bad for the environment long term as well. So it's like we can't win for losing.
Mm-hmm.
Lithium and stuff like that. I mean,
if only we could just figure out those portals from Doctor Strange, you know?
Yeah, that'd be a lot easier.
You know, that would. Hey Sam in the chat there.
Hey Sam.
You honestly, so Chad, you've never seen a UFO then? You've never. What about you, Spooky? Have you ever seen a UFO?
I have seen UFOs. If you call them UFOs, I think for me, a lot of the problem I have with the labels and the terms that we use are, what are we calling UFOs? What are we calling UAPs? What are we calling orbs? Now it seems like it's changed. When I was little, and I'm probably older than all of you guys, I was born in 1972. So when I was little, when we saw UFOs in the air, they were flying saucers, right? That's what we called them, flying saucers /
Right.
UFOs. As the years have developed over the decades, it seems like we see different things in the sky now. Some people see pyramid, triangle-shaped UFOs. You know, some
Yeah.
people see plasma-type UFOs that they've seen around. And so now we're seeing things that people are more describing orb-like, or as orbs. Go ahead.
Yeah. I do think a lot of the orbs, right? I don't know if Dakota can hang me on this, but a lot of the orbs, I believe in orbs and homes and spirit orbs 100%, right? Yes, you get dust particles, but see outside when it's floating in the air and it's huge. I mean, you do get, what is it, ball lightning? I need to remember. I need to remember and stalk slowly. I can't help it, guys. Sorry. I need to try and stalk slowly so you can understand me. But
No, we're doing okay
you
so
get
far.
ball lightning.
Yeah.
I've got the universal translators working, then it'll be fine. Ball lightning. I mean, I've seen UFOs. I've seen some crazy UFOs online, and I've seen the ball just floating about, and then it turns into like 4, and then it turns into 8, and then it just disappears. That's phenomenal, whatever that is.
I mean, I can go outside right here. I live in California, Southern California, and I live right by the Pacific Ocean. So if I want to see orbs in the sky, I go outside here and I look out towards the ocean. Right here, my garden is right behind us where I am. And then I look over here to the west, and there's where the Pacific is. And I'm probably about half a mile, almost a mile away from the ocean itself. The orbs will make their way from outside the west and start moving over here towards the north. And it's just a regular thing. It happens all the time. I was telling Chad, my daughter and I were sitting here in the patio in the garden the other night, and she wanted to see orbs, UFOs, and I told her to meditate with me because my family meditates. I've worked with my kids since they were young on the practice of meditation. So the CE5 thing is a little bit, I'm not really 100% sure about that, because I don't know the difference between that form of meditation versus the meditation that we've practiced. However, I think it's pretty close to similar and the same as to where we're trying to have communication with the beings that are either controlling, or actually, in my case, I believe that they're a lot of the orbs that I see are actually living beings themselves and are flying around in our air. So, but anyways, back to my daughter and I. It was about 3 weeks ago, right around the holidays, and she said, "I want to see some orbs or UFOs," because my daughter, when she was driving to Las Vegas with my wife, they were driving through the desert out there. As you go to Las Vegas, you have to drive through the desert. And they had the convertible top down as they drove through the desert, and it was starting to become dusk. The sun was setting, and there were orbs flying in the sky over the desert. So my daughter wanted to see if the orbs that we were seeing here at the house were the same type of orbs that she was seeing there in the desert skies. And sure enough, she was very happy when she saw that they were exactly very similar. Sometimes a little bit color would change in and out to different colors, mostly goldish, orangish to white. And then we also saw one orb that really surprised my daughter that started a lot lower than most of the other high flying orbs that we see, but this one was a lot lower, closer to the ground, and it was right there, and probably, I would say it looked like it was right over the ocean. And like I said, I'm about a mile approximately, and this one was hovering, came out of nowhere. I guess I should say it came out of nowhere. Of course, just materialized in the air, and then instead of doing the usual thing where they just fly over the sky headed towards the north destination, which is what I usually get. But this one was materialized and just shot up. How do I say it? It had this energy on the bottom of it that looked like almost like a rocket ship that you would think of a rocket. And this orb went it just shot up as fast as it could.
Mhm.
And so, if you see
Yeah.
a shooting star, usually you don't see
Yeah.
the glowing energy around the star, and then it trajects into a certain direction.
Mhm.
But anyways, that was a very unique one that we had seen, and I would have loved to have captured it, but I don't like, and I'm not into recording what I see.
Oh,
The
I'm
well, I have a long story. Just in
Yeah.
a nutshell, I'll kind of make it fast.
yeah.
When I was 7 years old, just a little boy,
Mhm.
I had a near-death experience it was a complication from a surgery I'd had, and so light beings came to me when I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, and then also when I was at the hospital. I met my spirit guides when I was 7 years old. At that time, I was delivered the understanding that I would have spirit guides with me throughout my life when I needed spiritual help. And those spirit guides have been with me my whole life. And now I'm, going on close to 50 years old, and it's been in and out of my life. But most recently, as of the time of the, I'll call it the lockdown, a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, I didn't have a whole lot of communication, or even though I was continuing my meditation practice, but I didn't have a whole lot of sightings or I guess direct communications. But as the time of the I guess we could say pandemic uh, started happening, and we got locked down here, that's pretty much when a lot of the sightings started happening again. And since the pandemic started, it's just been it's been happening a lot.
Mhm.
That is amazing. I mean, what makes you wonder why there's so much activity in your area?
I don't think it's just in my area. I think it's everywhere. I think it's just a matter of who's
Yeah.
seeing what and when and how. All of us have orbs around us, for my understanding, all the time. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of you. And keep in mind, this is just my opinion, and I can only speak for my life and what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I would never try to tell other people, that this is happening to you. You got to do this or you got to do that. Yes, I will. I always encourage Chad about meditating, not only because of communicating with beings from other dimensions
Mhm.
or time, but because of the personal benefits that you get from meditating. It helps you. It's tremendously therapeutic. But it's also the way to tap into the unknown, the side
Yes.
of things that we don't see in real 3D time.
Yeah,
I
and
do
I
it
think
regular. When you go,
what's
Chad?
that?
Oh no, when you go, Chad?
Oh, I was going to say, and I think the answer to the first question about how these UFOs are changing and how people are seeing them is changing. I'm going to steal this a little bit from Jamie and Bree because I was watching them this morning on YouTube. But from that one time I was abducted by aliens, they were doing an older episode I was watching, and they were talking about how we're moving in a different direction, where we're able to see and accept these things more clearly. We're back in the 40s and 50s when people were seeing these flying saucers. They were showing themselves in a saucer form, so they were taking a more physical form where when we saw them, we recognized them as something physical and metallic in the sky. So they were presenting themselves in something that we could understand. And even before that, there's sightings from the 1800s with people seeing these wooden ships in the sky with sails and propellers. And so that was like another way of, before they knew what flying saucers were, they were showing themselves as these wooden ships with people on them. So I think just as our consciousness is evolving, they are showing themselves in the best way that they think they can show themselves so that we can understand them, I guess is easy way to say it. So
That's
now
good.
that we're in this the stage of consciousness where we're opening more up to these metaphysical things. Now they're showing themselves in an orb form because we're just more able to accept that nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
for me,
That's
for me, the reason that I have a hard time with the labels and the terms that we want to use, and everybody wants. I think it's human nature to want to apply, modern day, terminology and science to what we're seeing. Why? Because we want to know. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to know. We all want the same thing, right? We want to know
Yeah.
what's up there. What are we seeing? But for me, I struggle with labels and terms because it's just what I've experienced. It's not really anything that they come, gray alien beings didn't come to me and say, okay, we are your spirit guides. We are gray aliens. We're from Zeta Reticuli. They didn't tell me all that. They just told me that, we're here to help you. And, for years I struggled. What is this all about? Why me, and especially why so young? And it's crazy that it has taken me decades to finally, but starting to realize that I believe I'm starting to get it. That I think that the reason why some of us were lucky, I guess, fortunate enough to have interaction with what I call our higher selves,
yes.
is because I think that there's some people that are meant to help the others understand, to help the minds open, the consciousness, awakening, if you will.
Yep.
For me, it's all spiritual.
Ever since I started, I mean, I do that astro traveling stuff,
Nice.
and the meditation stuff, right? And lately, some of the stuff that I've seen, I can't explain. I've been explaining to Dakota because he's in the same boat. He does the same, and some of the stuff I've seen lately is just a wee bit. I don't know. It was just weird, and the beings that come to me are like, you can't make out what they look like. You can't make out what they look like, but you know that they don't mean you any harm. They know that they want you to help. They want to show you the true way to be and to try and tell people, and that's their purpose. I think that is their purpose. Dakota,
That's beautiful. Beautiful, man.
Chris already knows, and a few people in chat as well know my little backstory, but I'll be honest, just taking in everything, your guys' perspective on this, it's exactly what they're wanting to do, and some of them may want us to try to progress to where they're at. And I was like, when I was about 5 years old, there was an abduction situation where I ended up 30 miles away from where I went to bed that night. Thankfully, the house I ended up at was my grandparents. So aside from the minor confusion of how the hell I got into a locked house, there was not really a lot of concern. And I can say, because people are saying, okay, maybe your parents dropped you off. Well, my father wasn't in the picture, and if it was a situation of custodial kidnapping, he wouldn't have dropped me off at my mother's parents,
right?
Who ended up receiving the frantic phone call from my mother saying that she didn't know where I was in the house. She had no recollection of dropping me off, which I did spend a lot of time at my grandparents growing up because of her work schedule. And now it's a situation that's evolved where apparently I had 2 kids with a woman from the Pleiades, and they come by to visit a lot. Sherry's dealt with them.
Dakota's actually got a book on this. You've actually got quite a few books on stuff like this, haven't you?
Well, the developments about me apparently having an alien baby mama aren't exactly in there, man. But those are.
Yeah, I mean,
I never heard that before. That term. That's a good one.
Alien baby mama.
Alien baby mama.
I was like, apparently there's like a past life situation where we were married. I came here, she stayed up there, but came to try to help me during some times where my life was on the line. And apparently there was a bit more physical interaction than a lot of people would probably want to admit on a YouTube live.
You better watch out. You may have some back taxes to pay when you go back there, you know.
I know. I was like, how does child support work if this is the case?
Yeah, long distance child support.
A lot.
The long distance, time dilation, is it like Interstellar where it's 20 years up there versus every day up here? What is going on?
Right, I think there's some truth to that too. The time.
I mean, see when I go to these places, the thing I kind of get, the place I went the other night there, I kind of get it out of my head. It was weird. It was like a city, right? But it was it's really difficult. It was like flowers and all that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of my friends in the chat, like Paranormal World Investigator, she's like, "Oh, that was a sign that you got." But then they took me to this library, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's the Great Library," and I think that was the Akasha Records. I think that's where they took me.
Mm.
Does that ever happen to you, Spooky? Have you ever been to somewhere like that?
And that's am I muted? Can you hear me?
No, you're good.
No?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I sometimes feel, really, really guilty about when I'm hearing other people's stories. Is that no, I don't have any memory of being, the typical abducted story of being taken away and taken in a ship. That has not been my experience. Mine has been more of like a spiritual, very personal. I told Chad, this room right here, a lot of times when I'll do podcasts or something, I try to leave the light on because I have my grandfather has visited me here in this room as an orb light. He passed away in this room right here, and this, my interaction with spirit and with what people would call aliens or beings is 100% spiritual to me. And I do feel bad though, because I hear people's stories about abductions and things, and maybe in regression therapy, maybe I would find something like that out, but I just don't, I don't have that experience, those experiences.
Yeah, I think that goes back to everyone gets what they need. If this time around you need to see and have a spiritual experience, then maybe that's what you'll have this time around. And somebody that needs to see more of a physical craft, I don't know, maybe that's what they need to see this time around. Not sure why people are seeing it and having different experiences.
I do agree with some people that have said if when you go into meditation and you go to astral travel, if you think positive thoughts, you go somewhere positive. But if you think, I don't know if you would agree with me here, Dakota. If you think of horrible things will happen to you when you astral travel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that any happened to any of yous at all? You've maybe thought about it and you shouldn't have done it, and it's happened. It's actually you've had that,
manifested it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know about I'll one of the things that I can tell you that was the epiphany of my life that changed my way of thinking about alien beings and about spirit and about what happens to us when we die, reincarnation, was in one of my meditations that happened probably, I would say, about a year ago. And I have regularly had meditations to where I was able to communicate with spirit guides, myself, of past lives. I would get information about, what type of reincarnations I had been through myself. But the epiphany of my life and through meditation was when there was a gray alien being, if you will, who I always considered my spirit guide, as they presented themselves to me when I was 7. There were 3 of them, and at this meditation, only maybe a year ago, I was communicating, and I was had the understanding. How do I say it? That being that I was communicating with, I was talking to me, and that was the wildest thing that ever happened to me in my life, was that I was communicating with myself. And I don't know how that comes across when I tell that story, but it put a whole new way of thinking about reincarnation, and about what people are reporting seeing. And it kind of makes me think about some of our Chad and I, one of our favorite cases that we like to talk about is the Chris Bledsoe here in North Carolina. And Chris sees orbs every day, multiple, 10, 15, 20. He just steps outside his door and he sees them. They come and they communicate with him. I believe that those orbs that he's seeing are spirits, and I believe that they're exactly the type of orbs and spirits that I see here.
Yeah, and he tells us all the time that they're ramping up. Like every time he posts a new post on Facebook of new orb videos, almost every post has something to do with they're ramping up. Activity is getting more frequent. You know, there's more orbs. They're coming more often. They're communicating more.
But people ask him questions and ask him why. Why do you think, Chris, that this is happening more often and coming so much more frequently? And what's the last thing that he said? Because they want disclosure.
Right.
And they want the truth to come out. They
Yeah,
want
they want the
the
truth to come out.
world to be free, because it would be free. Can you imagine? If it came out true about
It'd be very
everything?
different. It'd
The
be a
world,
very different
I
place
think
to
the
live.
world would change. Yeah, I think wars would end overnight.
Yeah, if everyone became more
Technology would change
spiritual,
too.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I think hatred towards others would end too. They would.
Yeah, I think people need to just understand that we're all the same thing. We're all one. Just one force of energy experiencing life in different bodies is basically what we are. I've had it explained to me a few times, and the first few times I've had it explained to me, it didn't really make sense. But yeah, if you think about it, it's like we're one force that just wants to experience life in as many different ways as possible. And so to do that, you just put yourself in billions of individual bodies and live life and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's what's going on here.
That's what must happen over forever. When you die, I think obviously you can come back, and it just keeps happening and happening and happening forever.
Right.
Very true.
And the purpose for that is to learn balance, to keep balance in the universe.
Yeah. I mean, I've met a lot of people that are like, oh, when I die, that's it. I'm not coming back. I'm staying in heaven and that. But I don't think it works like that. I think this is school. That you're here for a reason. And I think when you go back there, you remember who you were, who you were in all those thousands or how many times you've been here, lives. And then you're like, oh, right, I need to go back again, and I need to play this guy. And then, yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and each time you go back, you just review your past life and figure out where you could have done things better and how you could have changed things, and then you go back and try her again.
I wonder if there is a limit. I wonder if there is a limit to the amount of times you can go. You keep coming back because
Yeah,
it makes you wonder.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's what they call ascension, right? Spooky, when
Yeah.
you finally ascend to that higher level.
Dakota?
That was when I sent you the video for Mark Sims, Chad. The part that I liked the most about his video was when he told us about what happened, and the being that he had communion with. The being entered his body, and the being was named Tejbar, who was 3,000 or so years older than him. And Tejbar told him about what happens after we die, about reincarnation, about the many different types of beings that we possibly could reincarnate as, and many different places other than this earth that we live on that you can end up at. But then what happens at the end of your I don't know, test your trials or your lifetimes, you know, there is a chance to be able to put an end to it once you've met that certain place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's when you become a light being, or when you become maybe that's what we're seeing when we see the orbs, our ascended beings. I'm not sure.
It makes you wonder because
Got
I
more
mean I've
research to
seen some amazing pictures of orbs, but like you got all different colours. The most amazing one I seen, I can't remember where I seen it, and it was a picture, and I'm no joking yet. If you zoomed right into it, I'm sure you could see a face on it. I'm sure.
Oh
you
no,
could
Chris!
see a face.
No,
Oh, yeah.
the blood cells have pictures of orbs with the faces. They even have they even have one orb I remember where it had the picture. It had the face of one of their deceased pets, one of their dogs, their beloved dog.
I'll need to check that out. Because that's that's.
And that's
I mean,
and see, so that's why when I talk about spiritual side, you know, there's no question to me, no question whatsoever. I mean, we've had White Orb right here in this room. This is the room where my grandfather passed away. You know, I now live in my grandparents' house. He died right here, 2 feet away from where I rest my head every night. I helped him in his transition as he passed away. So, you know, I saw him making his excuse me, it's a little much, but I saw him as he transitioned, and I helped him. And it wasn't easy for him because he was not someone but he was very, very scared to leave. He did not want to die. And he was very scared about what happened after we die. And actually, when the process was happening, he was very, very scared. And that was what I tried my best to do, was to use, you know, my abilities psychically and what I had learned over my life through meditation and my understanding of things. And it was one of the most miraculous things that probably the most miraculous thing I've ever been through in my life, was to help him transition. And I mean, for me, there's no doubt it's spiritual.
Yeah, once you see something like that and go through something like that, it's pretty hard to deny it.
I don't like to give the details of, you know, exactly everything that happened with him, because it's so personal, you know.
Yes, I don't understand.
I just don't really think it's appropriate to give, you know, some of the details, but just you know, like I said, I'm just only speaking for myself and personal experience, but it was truly very, very powerful.
Always appreciate when you share like that, Spooky. It's not easy.
I mean, I can remember my mother telling me about her father dying. He was dying of cancer, and she went down one day to see him, and this was like pancreatic cancer. I mean, this is painful. This is like morphine stuff, and it was weird. He turned around to my mother and says, "Listen," he says, "my mother came to me last night, and she's coming to take me away tonight, take me home tonight." But they all thought he's on morphine, right? So, no problem. Go to bed. Went to bed. They woke up the next day. They went to see her. He was dead. He was gone. No, he knew that his family were coming for him. I don't know how he knew. He maybe seen them. I don't know. It's, you know.
Yeah, something happens where the veil thins.
Oh yeah.
To the point where you're, it's helping you transition over.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have worked in hospitals and like cancer wards. People that's dying and they've experienced weird stuff. Like they've seen like people at the corner of their eye in the room, and they went in, and there's nothing there. They've shut the door, they've turned the light off, and then at the corner of their eye again, they see like somebody going over and sitting in the bed. So they went in, they've turned the light on, and there's nobody there. So it makes you wonder: is that the family member coming to collect their son, their daughter, to take them?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to pull up a video that Chris Bledsoe sent us of an orb in his backyard, just so we can get some orbs on the screen.
I think orbs are amazing. Some of them are.
I think the most impressive one I've ever seen, what looked like had a children's feet underneath it, separated from the body or of the main orb.
Okay, there's a very big orb.
This is Chris Bledsoe from North Carolina.
Emily called me out of the house. It's hovering right here.
He sees these all the time. This is a daily occurrence.
It was way up here at the top of the trees. Wow. I see it good in this camera. It's hovering just above the trees, right in the trees. Look. It's through the trees. Oh, it's dropping. Look. Oh, Lord, thank you.
He always says thank you. I love that part.
Yeah.
He always gives thanks.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. He if you follow him on Facebook or on Instagram, he uploads almost on a daily. Lately it has been a daily basis, so you can always catch new orb videos over there.
Show.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook mostly.
Yeah, we'll need to get him on the show. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, it makes you wonder where these entities are coming from. I mean, it's there you go. There's a Scottish word for you. Mind-boggling. I mean, I believe some of the entities that do visit this world are interdimensional. I do believe that. I believe that 100%. I believe that they're definitely from a different dimension.
It's because you've been in the meditation and you've been able to see the different places that.
I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff, man. Okay, I just kind of seem to get that place out of my mind. It's like all day today, I've had it in my mind constant, and it was like a city on top of a mountain. It was like a river round about it. It was one of those. It was when I was there. It was weird because I didn't want to come back.
You didn't want to come back?
See, this is the thing. It was like the three of them took me there, right? The higher being, and then the woman, and this, the two women, and they take me here, and I just didn't want to go home. And they're like, "Listen, you need to go home." And I'm like, no. And it was like I had zero ill. I felt great. And but it didn't. But I looked up, and there was this beautiful sky, and there was two moons and a sun. And I says to him, I says, "Well, this is like heaven." And he says, "It might be." And he says, "But you have to go home." And I didn't want to leave. See, when I come out here, I was awfully upset, as if I was like, "Oh God, I wanted to stay there forever," because it was just that beautiful. But it makes you wonder, where was I? Was I dead? Was I in the afterlife, or was I just in another dimension?
Yeah, so I think you just I've been thinking about this lately in terms of like a radio dial. How a radio in your car or old transistor radio only has certain frequencies, and no matter how far you turn it to the left or to the right, you're only going to get those certain frequencies.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most of us are, is we're only seeing a very small band of visual, because we can only pick up a certain frequency and a certain wave of light with what we have. And I think what we're seeing every now and then when they come in and out of this dimension is just the other side of those frequency bands that we can't pick up with our own senses.
And what's hard for people to grasp is that there's so many different frequencies, and that's the thing that when you try to explain to people want answers and they want to know exactly this or that, but that's the thing that's so hard to explain to people, because it's not just one or two or three or four types of beings. There's unlimited amount of beings. We have no idea how many.
Right.
And that could be the same for these frequencies that you talk about, because yes, we are light, we are energy forms, and we are frequencies. We live in frequency.
Right.
The one that comes to me, he told me his name, but that wasn't his name. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. He doesn't have a human. He's no human. He's no human. He's got like a light form. Like, imagine you were looking at like a golden angel, right? But like a fuzzy golden. That's what it looks like. I don't even think he's a he. It could be a she one. I don't know. This is the thing. But they show me stuff and they tell me stuff about Dakota. I'm serious. They tell me stuff about Dakota, and they tell me what he's got to be doing in the future, and he tells me the people I'm going to be meeting in the future, and he tells me where I'm going to be going in the future. It's as if he's guiding me in a certain direction.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris is tuned in, man.
No. Oh, I'm definitely tuned in.
No, there's been incidents, in fact, just last night, where he goes into a certain meditative state, and Noculus, as he identified himself as, apparently he starts using him to message me.
Yes, and then I delete everything. And then I can't find it on my phone because he's wiped it.
And people are like, how do you know he's not messing with you? It's like, yeah, well, we're friends. We prank each other. We pull each other's leg all the time. But at the end of the day, we're still friends. But I know above anything else that this man is no actor.
No, I'm what you would call the worst actor in the history of mankind. I mean, good God. But it's weird. It's like I can remember doing it, but I can't remember what I did. I can remember. It's weird because see when he takes me over, I'm away somewhere else. Because before I told you about that city, I went to they take me to this hall, and I must admit, I'm a terrible person. I kept wandering away from them, right? And they kept shouting at me and telling me to come back and stuff. Because I was picking stuff up in that, and I was like, "Oh no, don't touch that!" And it was like a hall. It was like a library, but it was like infinite. It just went forever. And I think that was the Akasha Records. They called it the Great Library, but it makes you wonder if it was the Akasha Records that people go to. Because on one side it was just all scrolls and books, and it was just as far as imagine being like a church, kind of cathedral, right? Imagine that, right? But infinite in one direction. And that's I don't know. And they keep showing me stuff about Dakota. They keep showing me Mount Shasta. I don't know why, but they keep showing me Mount Shasta and him there.
Where do you live, Dakota?
I'm actually out of Idaho, in the southern part, like 30 minutes from the Nevada border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird.
I've never been to Mount Shasta, but what I read and see, it just sounds absolutely incredible. Yeah, I do think that there's amazing energies happening there. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of places that have those energies, and just some of the most popular ones you hear about are, like Skinwalker Ranch and, Shasta. And then, who knows? I mean, we have some crazy energies here. Where I live in California is very close to, like Coronado Island or the Catalina Island, where everybody knows it's one of the biggest UFO hotspots in the world. And then down here, even south of me in Mexico, in Baja California, we used to go camping down there, and we would when I was a boy, and we would camp on the cliffs, right, looking over the ocean, and we would talk with some of the locals there, and they would tell us about orbs. Of course, they just call them la luces. The lights would go in and out of the water. As the fishermen were doing their fishing, the lights would go down, or hover over the water, and then they would make their way down into the water. I think that was featured on like Ancient Aliens before. I think I remember that.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, do they live under the sea? You see,
there's no doubt.
This is the thing.
Yeah, I really believe they're in Catalina Island, and then over here in Baja. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. It's an amazing show tonight, guys, and thank you, Spooky, for coming on, and Chad.
Oh yes.
Thank you too.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe this was destined. I don't know what it is, but I've just got a feeling that this was all destined to happen.
Yeah, I find it out when we get into these deeper side of this conversations out there with everything that's been going on, and I don't know. It's like, we might have to invite you guys on for the UFO documentary when we start getting that more put together.
Yes.
Oh,
I think. Yeah. Would you like to join us? Would you like to join us in that kind of thing, a documentary on UFOs? Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't really believe in coincidences anymore.
Me neither.
Right. Do you want to see a coincidence? Dakota, why don't you show them the picture that you've done for what? Because you were just mentioning it earlier. We are light. We are light.
Oh, that's right. We haven't shown it up on here yet, have we?
This is a coincidence.
Basically, I do have, like Chris mentioned earlier, I do have some contacts in Hollywood who are been trying to help point me in the right direction of people for like permits and all that annoying legal BS. So that way I can do everything legally. So part of it is just kind of a proof of concept. I did design a little film poster here.
Ooh. We are light. I like that.
Imagine that. And it shows, I mean, does that know? Because I looked at that before we come on the night, and I never said empty.
That's
that's
beautiful.
And we've been talking about orbs, white orbs, and then you mentioned we are light.
Yeah,
we are. Yeah, we are light. We are light beings. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, part of the documentary, it'll help go into some of the stuff I've talked about here about my own personal stuff, because Sherry and Drew's Paranormal Vlog and Chris, they all can verify that the situation that unfolded, it was a little over a year ago, where with the company that we all used to be affiliated with, we had a negative entity attack us on a YouTube live. Now, mind you, it went from the UK down to Texas, up to Canada, to Idaho in a matter of seconds. This is all on video. It was bad enough to where the first guy that got hit started coughing up blood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In the weeks that followed,
there, but I was watching it live.
In the weeks that followed, all these people started coming to me, saying they started seeing this little girl who looked an awful lot like me. It eventually got to the point where I was able to use their descriptions to start using computer imagery, the same stuff they use on the age progress, like missing kid posters, to make the images of my daughter, my son, and their mother. And needless to say, I'm judging up by the fact that thankfully most of them had glasses. Otherwise, their eyeballs would have popped out of their sockets because of how accurate it ended up being.
And, I mean, it was high. I mean, in my dream states, I would say when I'm doing my thing, I keep bumping into this little girl, and her name's Olivia, which is the little girl Dakota's talking about. And I keep, for some weird reason, but when I see her at a distance, she's young, but when I go to meet her, she's older. But it's obviously, it must just be them doing something to my mind. See, this is the thing. It's like after I talk to him, it's like I get white. It's like I get white, like a hard drive. I can only remember certain things like that city, and I can remember the Great Library. But anything else that I do, any messages that I send to him, it's like I automatically delete them before I come out of it. And that's what I just can't fathom.
Yeah.
It just shows you how powerful these entities are.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, it sucks that you can't remember everything.
This is why I keep telling him to keep like a dream journal or something after every. He thinks he has something. Start writing so that maybe he can retain it, because it does follow the same psychology factors as the dream state. And normally, unless it's something intense or important, you're gonna forget about it.
A lot of the times when I a lot of the times about writing things down and recording it is that for me, it takes me a little while to process, and that's why I told Chad sometimes I spend the whole day here at the house going in and out of meditation, because I try so hard to put some of the things that I've seen and that I've been given the information about. I don't want to translate it to the 3D world in the wrong way, or tell people, something if I don't feel 100% about it. So a lot of times about writing it down and recording it, it's almost like I would have to do it like later, after I've had time to really, you know what I'm saying? Really process it.
Good point.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of times we don't go right to writing things down, or we don't go and grab our cell phone when we see something in the sky, right? Because we're like, that's not our first reaction. That's not our first thing, is that we want to, prove to people what we've seen. I mean, I'm not here to try to like tell some sexy story that's going to be like this big Hollywood blockbuster, or even to, anything. I'm not trying to make money or trying to. I definitely am not looking for celebrity. It's just about wanting to tell the right information that's going to make the best impact with that information.
Get the right message out.
Sense.
Yeah.
So here's a question for Chad. Chad, have you ever seen a spirit? Or have you ever seen like a spirit in spirit form?
Every time I get asked this question, I say no. And then people that are more tuned in than I am, because I definitely need to do my homework still. I need to do my meditation and get into meditating. But I always say no, and everyone that knows more than I do tells me that I have probably and just don't know it.
Yeah.
So not that I can remember. That's the other thing too. That's the kind of the mystery of why I got into this community, because I have this never-ending strong interest to stay in this group and to stay in the community, but I don't have any experiences of my own, where most people in this community do have some type of experience. So it's kind of a mystery as to why, maybe I was just brought in here to do a podcast and to bring people together and to keep the conversation going. Maybe that's why I was so drawn to doing this, but
I don't know.
So far,
I think you've got a destiny. I don't know if it is, but I can feel something. And I don't know if Spooky can feel it. I don't know if Dakota can feel it, but I can feel that because I do have like after the day, couldn't see spirits. I couldn't see them. And I don't know what it is, but I can just feel that you have a destiny somehow. There's a destiny tied into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all got a destiny. That's the thing.
I think so
before
too.
we
Yeah.
came here, we agreed to something. All of us
Mhm.
agreed to something.
Soul
What's that,
contract.
Dakota? Yeah. What's that, Dakota? Did you hear something there?
Yeah, I just heard a woman talking.
Yeah. So did I.
Hmm.
You're around
That
about
was-
57.
A
around
little
about
bit
57
older.
minutes.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Older.
listen back to that.
Older lady.
I got my DJ headphones on. These things will pick up in. I could hear like a woman's voice too. Around about 57 minutes in, 58 minutes in.
Oh wow.
So there you go. See, did any of you know hear that? No.
Mm-mm.
We must be tuned to the.
You're tuned in, yeah.
I'm tuned. I'm definitely tuned in. You know. But it's because it makes you wonder where I'm going tonight again. You know. I mean, I
Mhm.
try and meditate every day, every single day. I mean, it is very relaxing.
I like
No.
Drew's comment there. I've never talked to Drew, I don't think, but Drew's paranormal vlog. How's it going, dude? Yeah, Chad, I think we've all got a purpose in this, and it's about to take off. All of us will fall into a role we're being groomed for spiritually.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Well, do you remember what Chris told Josh?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Josh was told by Chris Bledsoe that we are all
Josh is one
doing-
of our colleagues.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's part of our group.
Yeah, he has a podcast called Trippy Times on YouTube.
Yep.
And he's good friends with Chris Bledsoe and grew up with his son, actually, Chris Bledsoe Jr. And he was told that we are all making small ripples that will make huge waves in the future. Like we're all part of something that will eventually. He's basically confirming what we're all thinking. He says that we're all a part of something that will be very important in the future, and that we're all on the right path. We're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
I do think something. I don't know if I'm going to say this word. I'm going to use this word. Biblical is going to happen very soon in the world. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think it's something to do with our friends from above. I think it's all going to come out. I think the government are slowly. Every government. I'm not just blaming the American government, the British government, the Chinese government, the Russian government. Everybody's been trying to cover this up for so many years, and now it's just getting out of control. You know, I think something is going to come out. I think it's going to be revealed very, very soon.
Yeah, I think so too.
This year.
Information just travels way too fast now, and
Oh yeah,
there's no way to slow it down or stop it now. It's a force that can't be stopped at this point.
Mhm.
it needs to, because I think it could save this. It could save the world. I think the world needs us, because if it doesn't, if we had a different goal, I mean, the world today is we consume, we buy, we consume, we throw away, we consume, we throw away. That's all we do. If we had like maybe another goal, if there was another world or another race out there, we could become friends with. Can you imagine that? I mean, they could come here, we could go there. I think wars would patter out. The hatred in the world would just disappear.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because we would stop calling each other different races.
Yes.
You know, we're all the same race.
Of course we are.
The more I get into this community, it's like the more that makes more sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Being racist is we say being racist is being hateful towards another. It's really just skin color at this point, because the way I see it, we're all the exact same, especially all of us on this planet. You know, after talking to you guys and hearing what the other things that you see that are other dimensional, all the ones that are in this dimension, we're obviously all the same race. We couldn't be more alike.
I think when I kind of remember being in the spirit realm, But when you're in that realm, you don't have a body. I think when you first go there, I think they give you a body. I think it's so you just get used to things.
Mm.
But as you say, there's the orbs, they don't have bodies. You know?
Right. Yeah.
I think your energy, as Bookie says, we're light. We are light, we're energy, energy never dies and will always be, you know?
That's right.
And I think it's like everybody in there, right? Black people, Chinese people, Japanese people, Indian people, white people, we're all exactly the same soul inside. Right?
Absolutely.
But when you die, you could go to another planet somewhere and be born again as like something with 10 arms or something like that. You don't know. This is the thing. This is the thing. And that's what's wrong with this world. We need woken up. There's people in this world needs woken up to realize that we're not alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dakota?
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Well, we started talking about UFOs and we went super spiritual with it, so that's always a good thing.
I know it's UFOs. I can tell you something. Right? This has only happened to me in the last 2 years. I always believed in the afterlife. I always believed in ghosts and stuff like that. And then I met him.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this because I do want to give Sherry a little shout out. Thank you for taking care of that individual. You know, this is a point. And this individual who only has like 8 likes and wants to hide behind an icon. Yeah, I'm a little irritated, but I'm going to try to turn this into a positive thing.
Yeah.
I know my stories sound crazy. I was like, I just came up here saying I have an alien baby mama who's helping me deal with exorcisms and phantom serial killers. I know I sound insane. I question it every day, but I also do what I can to try to document it, to at least say, yes, this is going on, because I know that there are several people out there who are already probably feeling like crazy and have no idea who to go to because they think they're going to be put in a padded cell.
Yeah.
The world is getting ready to change, and if you're going to hide behind an icon, you're going to stay hidden in the shadows while everybody else starts shining.
Yeah. I mean,
That's very well said.
I mean, you think about the people. There is people out there that are probably experiencing out of body phenomena, right? They're experiencing all this kind of stuff, and they don't know where to go. They don't know where to go. They don't know what's happening to them. They think they're going mad, but in actual fact, they've just been chosen. They've been chosen to be, you know.
It's actually made one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is about some of these psychiatric, when we get told by psychiatry and doctors that we're mad and that we are multiple personalities, schizophrenia as a diagnosis. And I really have been thinking about that a lot lately about, are we being diagnosed correctly, when they tell us that we're paranoid schizophrenic, and we're seeing, I mean, how many children as they're little growing up have imaginary friends?
Yeah.
And that's accepted, it's not really thought of as so much taboo, but as you grow into be an adult, you're supposed to lose those imaginary friends or else you're going mad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You think the people in the past that have had electrotherapy because they say they've seen people, maybe they're just psychic.
For me, I've been to psychiatrists, I've been to psychologists, I've taken the medicine, and the best therapy I've ever had in my life was when I started learning about myself right here in this brain, when I started looking at inside, and I was able to work out my own issues on my own, and it was a miraculous thing. It's better than, and you know what the best part about it is? It's free.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say this. I've noticed a pattern lately, especially since the pandemic began. And I know this sounds out there, but I looked through just to make sure it was legit. There are incidents going on nowadays where even active psychiatric facilities with currently running with patients are reaching out to people like us saying, hey, I think we have something going on. Is there something you can do to help us out? Obviously, the full-on investigative procedure can't be done because, like I said, it's an active facility. There are patients in there who do have some serious problems that would make us look completely sane. Well, let's just say everybody that's supposed to try to be skeptical about this, shoot everything down, they're starting to come out and say, maybe there's something here. That
5-10 years ago, 5-10 years ago, you would have never read in the scientific journals about them using, doctors and scientists using things like mushrooms to help treat psychiatric problems. Now we're allowing veterans to get medical marijuana. They're going to use things like mushrooms to help try to cure of things like post-traumatic stress disorder and other types of problems with the mind. But now they're starting to realize that the answers to so many things that we want to know are right here.
I will say this, ever since I encountered all of this, it set me free. You know what I'm trying to say, Spooky? Chad, you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, I'm set free.
It's empowering.
Yeah. I'm no like the rest of the people.
The other day we were on another podcast a couple days ago, and people were asking different questions. And what I like to tell people is, I'm no expert. I don't know, how many different races of alien beings there are. I don't know what happened to Dakota. I don't know what happened to Chad. But all I am an expert in is what's happened to me. And right here in this brain and through my experiences. And all I can tell you is, what I know. But I'm going to try to give you the best advice I can. And that is, look inside yourself and spend some time with yourself. You'll be amazed. I'm absolutely amazed what you find and discover.
Meditate.
And
meditate.
And I'm just going to say to some of the mods in the chat, well done to some of the mods in the chat, because I wouldn't have bought. You know that you're making a difference when you start getting the trolls, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, did we have some trolls in here? Did we?
Oh yeah. That's why I made my little tirade earlier, because I saw that and I already found information on where they live. So guess what?
See, that's the thing. See, once you start making a difference and start waking people up, that's when you start getting trolled. It's weird. It's as if they're paid trolls and they're ready to pounce on anybody that tries to break the norm.
They'll figure it out. I think everyone's just on their own life path, and they're just on theirs. And we're waking up, and they're still asleep.
Yeah. There was I went to a Gabriel Iglesias concert not too long ago, and towards the end of the show, he made a very valid point where he was talking about how he noticed that in the beginning, everybody's going to support your dreams, but the second you actually start breaking the mold and becoming successful, you're going to start seeing some true colors.
Yes. Sounds like we're getting successful, boys.
There you go.
This is the thing. It makes you wonder where we'll be in 5 years.
Yeah, really,
hopefully
exactly.
With my own spaceship, so I can fly off this planet when it gets ready to blow up.
Yeah. I think I want one of them. But hopefully it'll know we're running gasoline in Scotland, because we'll be able to afford it.
Sherry, thank you for sharing all of our links out. We appreciate that.
Big kudos, Jerry. She does an amazing job whenever she does come in, and
she's working hard in the chat. I see.
Yes, that she is.
It's been an absolute amazing night tonight, Chad and Spooky. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having
we'll
us.
need to get you
Thank
back on one of the UFO shows. We'll need to get you back on one of the UFO shows one night with us.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to listen to this tomorrow if you want on Amazon if you want. So it'll be uploaded by them. It'll be uploaded by the Dakota.
Yeah, we do send this show out to 40 different locations. We do have both video and audio. Amazon, iTunes, Google Play. There's a listing in our flow page for a reason, so we don't have to remember all those butts.
I'll have to get with you to find out how you do that. We just go to YouTube and Twitch so far.
Oh yeah, we got Twitch too, and D Live and Twitter, and
Jeez, I'll have to get with you and find out how you go to all those.
Combination of StreamYard and a service called Liberated Syndication.
Liberated Syndication. All right.
Yeah.
Their plans are real cheap. We do ours for only like $15 a month, and that helps cover a full month of shows, 3 shows a week. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, Chad, what
so
have you got any? Have you any lives planned for tonight or tomorrow?
Not for tonight or tomorrow, but we do have the Chad Smith podcast is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We do that every Tuesday and Thursday morning for about 3 hours. And then on Fridays, we have Paranormal Chop Shop at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, I've watched that. That's really, really good. That I actually like watching that.
Yeah, we have a fun time over there.
Spooky, you have your own channel, don't you?
I don't have any shows right now, any podcasts. I'm pretty much just hanging out with Chad and Sonny at the Chad Smith podcast and Paranormal Chop Shop.
Spooky's been filling in a lot lately. He's awesome.
Spooky is awesome. Spooky really awesome.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we'll contact you about the documentary once we decide when we're doing it, because it'll be a while yet. Yeah,
very good.
Dakota's job. I'm just a loose end. I just wander about.
Yeah, he's just here purely for the Scottish accent.
Yes,
it works.
Cheer the ladies
yeah,
up,
it's beautiful.
Hello.
Yeah, no, he hits up my own mother.
You better watch yourself, Dakota. You may have to call me daddy soon.
Oh God!
Oh man,
I couldn't help myself, guys. He got me in the TikTok. I had to get him back.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
I thought you said we were only going to keep the TikTok war. I thought you said we were going to keep that on TikTok.
That's very true. I hope you're not doing any meditation tonight, Dakota, and that pops into your brain,
Oh, God.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I know my mother's going to be laughing her ass off because I know she listens to the show ever since she found out about him.
Oh, good.
Hello. The Sean Connery
you guys have been
of YouTube, fun. No problem. Right, Dakota, shall we play the outro?
Yes. Yes, let's see if Dakota can avoid pressing the wrong button and kicking his own butt out. I got it. Here we go.